Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Matteo J, and welcome to Matteo J Presents. I know that I have been gone for a while, and I'm so sorry. I've been gone, but I'm back, and I'm back with the jump off. I have so many things that I'm going to start sharing with you guys, and today's video is going to be very personal, something that I usually don't talk about too much, but is definitely wanted and needed. So thank you for your grace. Thank you for being so patient, and let's get into it. So before we even start the video, if you haven't already subscribed, please hit that red button, the one that says subscribe. Yeah, hit that one. That one is going to let you know when I put out videos. It's going to show that you are a huge supporter of everything that I'm doing. And once you're done with the video, make sure you like the video and make sure you leave a comment down below. I appreciate the love. I read everybody's comments. So yeah, subscribe, like, comment. So from my first video, my coming out story, you guys already know that I identify as a gay man. If you haven't seen that video, then just go ahead and check it out before watching the rest of this video. But yes, that's something that I do identify as. Something else that I identify as is as a Christian man. I have a strong relationship with God. I'm grounded within my faith. I include him in everything that I do. I pray, I go to church. So yeah, I do identify as a Christian man. As you may kind of gather, being gay and being a Christian isn't the easiest thing. There are times where we face a lot of backlash. We face issues of not being accepted. And I've definitely faced those issues basically for about a year now. So the first struggle that I kind of faced being a Christian man was an internal struggle. I honestly did not see or understand that God loved me as I was. I actually felt that God could never fully love me and that I would never fully be in his grace and his glory because of that. That comes from the church always saying, you know, it's an abomination, God looks down on it. And it also came from my family. It was something that my family had said. And you hear all the time that God does not like homosexuality, and it's in his word. People push it and down your throat all the time. You see it on the news. You have these Christian coalitions that protest everything that has to do with homosexuality. So for me, it was a struggle. I didn't see that. I never thought that I would fully be in his glory and in his grace and in his presence because of who I was. And I really had to learn to kick that. It's actually a daily struggle for me. And I just ground myself in his word and focus on his word being love and him loving all of us as we are in our imperfections and within our sins, and just fully loving us as we are, as his children. And that is where I keep my focus and try not to focus on the negativity that other people try to feed me about it. Ultimately, in my relationship with God, I have not come to a place where I feel that who I am is wrong. I have not come to a place where he has told me I need to change. I don't see myself ever coming to that place. I have a relationship with God where I feel he sees me for who I am, and he accepts me and loves me for who I am, and the blessings that he has poured onto me have been amazing. And if I truly was not who I was supposed to be, if I truly was living a lifestyle that he did not seem fit, then those blessings would not come to me. I've had many conversations with him. I've had many conversations with people who are pastors and ministers and people of God. And yeah, I just haven't felt that as of yet. So I've learned to really just focus on God's love and his glory and his grace and his understanding of who I am. And I'm going to continue to do that. I'm not going to let anyone tell me that who I am is wrong because of it. The second struggle for me was definitely my relationship with the church. So I love my church. I go to an amazing church, so many talented worshipers, so many people grounded in God, so much love. However, there are still people who live in their ignorance. And I say ignorance, people use that word a lot, but I say ignorance because there are a lot of people who don't know any better. A lot of people who were raised in the church have a mindset and don't open up their mind to see things differently. And while I respect everybody's views and respect everyone for who they are, I haven't always received that from people in my church. It started with some of the young folks at the church spreading around my business before they even knew it was true. And it sucked because within that, they included some of my friends who are straight men, and they got told to the world like, oh yeah, he's gay, he's gay, he's gay, and it just sucked. And it was very malicious, and it was very hurtful. And it was the first time that I started really considering if this was the place for me. Like, is this church for me? Because I started feeling uncomfortable. With that being said, I did make a choice that I'm not going to allow people to run me out of God's house. It's not my time to go. And when God tells me it is your time to go, it's when I'll leave. But right now, I don't feel that way. I've learned to maintain cordial and positive relationships with those people, because when I come to the house of God, I come with love regardless of the way I'm being treated. I've learned to love people regardless of how they treat me. However, with that being said, I'm also very mindful of those people and how they feel about me. And so it has affected me in a way where I've learned that not everyone is going to accept you, and that is okay. But you also don't need to alter yourself and focus on what they have to say, because your goal is to keep your eye on God, not around those people. So the third struggle that I faced came with making the choice to get baptized. So when I was a baby, I was baptized. It's a Puerto Rican thing. You get your kids baptized at 1 year old, but it's through the Catholic Church. So I got my forehead sprinkled with some water, but it wasn't a full out baptism, meaning I didn't get my entire body dumped in. It also wasn't my choice. At 1 year old, I didn't say, "Mommy, I'm ready." No, it was a choice that my family made for me, and I'm grateful that they made that choice, because it was the first step in my relationship with God. However, I was very clear that for me, there was going to come a point where I needed to go through a baptism. I struggled with that. I didn't know if I was ready for that. I didn't know if that meant that I needed to change who I was, and that's something that I wasn't willing to do. And then one day God spoke to me. He said, "It's time. I've been waiting for you. This baptism is going to solidify your new walk with me. It's going to bring us closer, and it's going to impact the world." And I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know what that was going to look like, but I knew it was time. So I spoke with the leadership in my church. They were all for it. They actually had been waiting for me to get baptized for a while. And so I said, cool, let's go through with the process. So the day came for me to actually get baptized, and I was excited. I had invited my friends, and they had shown up, and it was going to be amazing, and it was going to be great. I was dressed. I was ready to go. I was sitting in the front of the church, just excited, just pumped. And one of the leaderships in the church came to me and said, "I need to have a conversation with you." At that point, I didn't know what the conversation could be about. I actually had not been consistently attending church because I was doing some work on the weekends, so I couldn't come every Sunday. I had been streaming it online, but he didn't know that. So I'm thinking that's the conversation that we're getting ready to have. And unfortunately, it wasn't that. That was not the conversation. So the conversation was actually about my coming out video. So I put out this video coming out to the world, and in doing so, it was sent to my church. Someone in the church that follows me sent it to my church, and he asked me if it was true, if I was gay, and I said yes. And he let me know that his personal opinion was homosexuality was a sin. It's an abomination of God, and if I was going to get baptized, that means I was going to make a choice to change my lifestyle. And I knew exactly what he meant, and my initial reaction was anger, because I couldn't believe he was having this conversation with me moments before I was supposed to get baptized. But the anger quickly turned into hurt, and I was silent. I allowed him to speak, and I was hearing everything he was saying. And then he asked me if I wanted to continue to get baptized, and I said no. It didn't feel right anymore. I was hurt, honestly. It was, and I expressed that. I was like, "I'm hurt that you're having this conversation with me." And he expressed to me that the church actually didn't want him to have the conversation with me, which put me a little bit at ease. But it just continued with, your walk with God is never going to be perfect because of this. So you can get baptized, but it's not going to align with what you want. And I need to tell you this because it's not going to happen for you. Basically, I'm paraphrasing, of course, because I don't remember. I don't remember what he said. I just remember the feeling of it. I remember feeling hurt, embarrassed, and angry, of course, but more than anything was the embarrassment of it all, because I was there, I was dressed, I was sitting in the front, people saw me, I told people I was getting baptized, my friends were there, and I just didn't know how to deal with that embarrassment. So I remember leaving the church, leaving my bag, leaving my friends there, eventually texting them and telling them to come outside, but I just wanted to get out because I was so embarrassed. It was one of the most embarrassing moments of my life. And I remember after that really going back to that struggle of, does God really love me? Can he really love me? Am I too damaged? Is there something wrong with me? Could I ever have a relationship with God that is perfect? And I don't know. I didn't know at the moment. But everything definitely happens for a reason, because this happened on a Wednesday, and on Friday I was going away for a retreat with a team that I had been working with. And I didn't know exactly where we were going, but when we got there, the first sign that I see is Jesus never fails. And so the training facility turned out to actually be a religious camp. And so every morning I'm part of a prayer group, and our prayer group was able to meet in person this time. And so of course we said we're gonna meet on the lake, and we met for those 3 days. And on the last day is when I shared my story. I hadn't told much people that were there what happened, but I shared. And our leader, Ziomara, who was so amazing, looked at me and she said, Jose, we're at a lake and you can still get baptized. And something came over me and tears started to hit my eyes, because I guess it connected. It was like, wow, I wasn't baptized on Wednesday because this is where I'm meant to be baptized. I wasn't meant to be baptized in the church. I was meant to be baptized in the lake. And I remember going in and coming out and just feeling right. Like everything felt so right. I was like, wow, it was a connection for me. And I'm so blessed to have been able to have that moment with those people who had been so instrumental in my walk with God. But I knew for a fact that is why everything happened. God always has a plan. When you think you have a plan, God is going to laugh at you because you think you got a plan. Because God had a plan for me. I'm thinking I'm getting baptized that Wednesday, and God is like, I'm going to have to put you through this embarrassment right now, but it's because I have a larger purpose for you. So when I returned home, I started thinking, am I going back to the church? Am I going to find a new church? Those conversations were definitely happening in my mind. But I have received so much love through messages from the church, the leadership in the church, that I wanted to at least go back and see how I felt. And so walking into those doors, at first I did feel a little uncomfortable just because the situation happened. However, that soon went away. I got wrapped up in the word, and after many of the pastors, including the senior pastor, came and had a conversation with me and let me know, like, we're sorry that happened, and we want you here. We love you here. And he said, if for some reason God keeps talking to me about you, and so that lets me know that you have a purpose. God has a huge plan for you, and I'm helping you with that. So I need you to stay. And so I did make the choice to stay. I have forgiven the situation, forgiven the person in the situation and what happened. I've forgiven anyone in the church who has wronged me in any type of way or has offended me in any type of way, because once again, I understand people's point of view. I can't sit here as a gay man and say, I don't understand, that's ignorant. I can't do that, because I want people to understand me and accept me. So I have to understand and accept you and your viewpoints, accept you as you are. I just love God so much. He is such a powerful and instrumental force in my life. And a lot of people question, how do you know he's real? How do you know he's real? And for me, he's real because I've been at my lowest, and the things that have pulled me out of it could be nothing but a divine force working on my side. So as a gay man and a gay Christian, I can bring other people from the community to God. They can see there are people who have strong relationships with God and are gay and are bisexual and are lesbian and are transgender. It's possible. So that people don't have to feel the way I felt, that I wasn't good enough for God and that God would never love me. And as I said, I respect everyone's opinions. That's my opinion on it. And nobody's going to step in the way of my relationship with God at all. So that's my video. So as always, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you like. Please make sure you leave a comment. Anything at all. Even if it's a heart emoji, I will appreciate it so much. Like, comment, subscribe. And look out for the next video. I promise I won't take another month to put out another video, all right? Love you guys, and yeah, stay blessed.